Good day, everyone. I want to wish you a really good day because we've been operating under very unusual circumstances. So, for example, I have a mask in hand, and normally I would put it on if I were in public or if I were with people in a room that are very close to me. I wouldn't have a choice but to wear the mask, but I can actually take it off and just to do this presentation. Having had to put on the mask for the greater part of 2021 and the latter part of 2020 due to the pandemic, this is historic for all of us. And you as students are learning in a new environment as well because of this, and this is also historic. So I want to wish you well. I know that you've been under a lot of stress, and sometimes you don't realize it, but we have been under a lot of stress simply because we don't wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, get our teeth brushed, get our breakfast, get dressed, bathe, dress, leave and go to school. We are staying at home. So we don't get to talk to our friends in the same way. We don't talk to our teachers in the same way. This is different, and this is what the class and the teaching and learning has become now because of the pandemic. So let me go now into why we are here. I wish you a successful career showcase for the 2020-21 academic year. Who am I? My name is Judy Deterville, and I work presently with Sandals Grande Saint Lucia Spa and Beach Resort. I am the public relations manager for the resort. I've been at this job now for close enough to 5 years. I started in 2016. At that time, the public relations position was based at Halcyon. In 2019, I was moved up to the Grand, to Sandals Grande, and this is why I'm presently doing this presentation for you. Public relations is a unique job because it requires an understanding of the business that you're in, and it requires the ability to always, I guess, be aware of the image of the company, whatever that company is. There is a public image that it has, and one of your responsibilities will always be to ensure that that public image is positive, that people understand what the business is about, and that they view the business in a positive light. Now, things will go wrong because nothing is ever perfect. When something goes wrong, it will be the responsibility of a public relations person to ensure that whatever information is out in the public domain still gives a perspective of the company that is positive, and that it tries to maintain positive relations with various publics. Some of the publics will include government as stakeholders. They will include the school community. You, for example, can be considered a public. Parents will be another public. And the general public who will have opinions about the business. All of these are considered to be various publics who need to form relations with from a public relations perspective. So, Sandals Resorts has functioned across the Caribbean in Saint Lucia for just over 25 years now. There are 3 resorts in Saint Lucia: Sandals Halcyon, Sandals Grande, and Sandals Regency at La Toc. Each of these resorts has had a public relations manager. Presently, there isn't one at Sandals Halcyon. However, there is a public relations manager at Sandals Regency at La Toc as well. A typical day in the life of a public relations person. Let me give an example of today. So today is the 17th of March, and we are celebrating, on the 18th of March, we are celebrating the birthday of the Sandals Foundation. I'll talk about the foundation in a little bit. So I came into work and thought, all right, let's run a bit of a competition so that we can give t-shirts to some of our team members so that we can all be dressed alike to celebrate the foundation's birthday on the 18th. So that's my day. Working on the competition to see how it is that we can get as many team members as possible engaged in talking about the foundation, because we are celebrating the birthday of the foundation. So that happens for a couple hours in the day. Then team members start answering the questions. Then we have to go through the process of correcting the answers and ensuring that answers are correct so that they can actually win the t-shirts, because now everybody has to be dressed in the same way on Thursday wearing the Sandals Foundation t-shirts. So that's one task that I will do or have done today. Another task will include monitoring of the media. Now that's important because now we need to know what's being said about Sandals in the media, and the media will include radio, television, social media, online media, all aspects of media, broadcast, traditional media, one of my tasks is to, on a daily basis, go through all of these various forms of media to see how it is that Sandals has been represented, whether it is that Sandals itself has sent out a press release, or whether it is that somebody else has written something about Sandals. I roll that in as a report every day. Then I'm relating to other departments, I'm relating to other people as the day goes by. So it really involves a lot of talking, and other departments I'm engaging with include housekeeping. Housekeepers are critical in the business of hospitality. They are looking after the rooms that our guests will stay in. Maintenance, also looking after areas that the guests will will interact in, whether they are fixing things that have broken or maintaining things so that things do not break. Then there's landscaping. Landscaping will include the grounds. There's food and beverage, security, entertainment, the spa, the gift shop, the photo shop, island routes or the tour desk. There's sales and weddings, loyalty and travel. There's HR. HR is human relations or human resources, training, and finance. So these are some of the departments that I would liaise with on a daily basis, just sort of managing the internal public from a position of, if there's training happening, what's the training about? How do we tell the team members about the training? How do we get the team members involved in doing the training? If it is that food and beverage has a special on, then what's the special about? Why is it happening? So it really involves a lot of talking to the internal public as well as talking to the external public. And in this instance, you as a student, you become the external public. So I'm talking to you now about my job in the hospitality and tourism sector as a public relations manager. We just took a short break. We're right back. Thank you for staying with us. That I would have said if I was talking on the radio or on television, because as part of public relations, sometimes we have to do that as well. So for example, if something happens at the resort and I have to give a report, then I would have reported it in that way. So really it is, if you like talking to people, then public relations is something you can think about as a career in the industry. If you like people in general, then public relations is something you can consider as a career in the industry. Your training, essentially, you need to have gone through your basics, and so at this level of Form 3, you're choosing subjects. Really, you want to do arts as an arts major. You can come out as a public relations personality. Having done English, certainly, that would really be one of the prerequisites in terms of from a language and speaking, interacting, engaging with people perspective, that you need to be able to put two sentences together. So if you can talk, and it's a gift. Some people can learn the skill as well. It's a skill that you can also learn, that you can express yourself. You can get people to talk by, for example, asking people about themselves. So how do you now engage people in a discussion? That's really what you want to do, so that you're not speaking, I'm speaking now to you, but an ideal situation would be that we could be talking back and forth to each other. So now you're asking me questions and I'm giving you information. That's engagement. That's what you want to do as much as possible if you're thinking about becoming involved in public relations, so that at the end of the day, you're not just talking to yourself or by yourself to people, but rather you're drawing people out and asking them questions that they want to give you information about, whatever the situation is, that they now become the talkers as well, and that you're not just the one delivering the speech or the monologue. So for my background, I have been through secondary level in Saint Lucia, tertiary level at Sir Arthur Lewis. It was then the Saint Lucia A-level college, after which I went and did a first degree in radio and television arts at Ryerson in Canada. Came back to Saint Lucia and did a second degree, master's in business administration. And after that, now the sky is the limit, really, because the more qualifications you have, the better you can sell yourself, and the more you can then say, well, I can bring this to the table, or I can bring that to the table. I can write, I can bring that to the table. So writing is a skill, you bring that to the table. Speaking is a skill, you bring that to the table. And there are different kinds of writing. Are you writing now for press releases? Are you writing corporate writing? What kind of writing is it that you're doing that you have to now excel at, so that you can be the best at the job that you've been given? If it is that you are now, so you've come back with your university education and you think that you're best for the job, how do you sell yourself at the interview stage? Because now that's also what it's all about, because everybody has a first degree now. So you're not just the one who's special, everybody is special, but you must bring something extra. So you bring that now in your personality, in the way you carry yourself, in your comportment, in your demeanor, in your attitude, in your behavior. all of that is part of what is critical as soft job skills to keep you and to help you to get that edge over the next person who is just as qualified as you are, but there's something else about you that the interviewer will not forget, and they call you back and say, can we have another chat? And then you bring your personality to the table, warmth, the friendliness, the smile, the natural ability to engage people. All of that's critical if it is that you want to be involved in public relations. So really it is that you will learn. You can learn the skill. You can learn to wash the plates and cups for housekeeping. You can learn to cut the lawn for the laundry, for the landscaping. You can learn to use a camera for the Photoshop. But really, public relations, it is a different kind of engagement, which involves engaging people at all levels. So now you're engaging your boss, or you're engaging a team member who reports to you, or you're engaging another manager on the same level as you, or you're engaging somebody in the outside now, a government official, you're engaging a school principal, and all of these are different types of communication that require your level of understanding so that you ensure that you're communicating effectively, that people understand the message that you're delivering to them, and that you leave room for questions. Unfortunately, today there's no room for questions because of the way this is set up. However, just to give you a little bit more information about Sandals, I'm going to go over to my slides now and just to run through. I talked about the Sandals Foundation. That is the philanthropic arm of Sandals. And in Saint Lucia, as of March 18th, 2021, the foundation is celebrating its 12th anniversary of operating across the Sandals chain. And the foundation has been set up ready to give back to all communities in key areas of education, environment. And so as far as environment goes, we're working with our underwater projects as much as possible to protect the marine environment. We are working in education in schools. When school is open, we have an active reading program. And in terms of community, we do a lot of sports programs. We do tennis, we do basketball, and so we try to maintain as much as possible an avenue where the foundation can help communities at large to just perform better in all areas. So that's what we do. Sandals operates in Saint Lucia, in Barbados, Grenada, Antigua, the Bahamas, of course in Jamaica, several resorts in Jamaica. And I should add that outside of Jamaica, Sandals is the largest, Saint Lucia is the largest investment of Sandals outside of Jamaica. Turks and Caicos, in the Bahamas, there are Sandals on 2 of the smaller islands in the Bahamas. Our executive chairman now is Adam Stewart. The founder chairman of Sandals, Gordon Bush Stewart, passed away recently in January, and so now his son Adam has taken over the reins of the company and has been doing fairly well so far as a new executive chairman, and we're all getting to know him better. Certainly the largest hit in the industry, tourism industry, came almost a year ago now, March of 2020, when the pandemic struck. That I think was the first time in our history that we saw the industry shut down literally. No one was allowed to travel. No one was allowed to stay at hotels. So that to me was the first biggest, largest challenge, if you want to say, of the industry. But it's also the biggest opportunity now to get it right, to do things differently as we reopen. Some hotels are currently open in Saint Lucia, some are not. In Saint Lucia now, all of the Sandals Resorts are open and have been running at very low occupancies, but we are open, which is a good thing because now people are back at work. In Saint Lucia, generally about 12,000 people, 12 to 14,000 people are employed in tourism, of which Sandals is the largest employer on the island, employing just under 2,000 people. So you can imagine when the industry closed, people were just out of work. So now that we are back, we're looking at new opportunities and how to reshape the industry so that if something like this happens again, we are better able to deal with it. So on that note, I think I'll close for now. But certainly if you're interested in tourism, you want to understand language, understand literature, understand how to communicate with people, you want to understand how to engage people, and then you want to now zero in on not just public relations, because there are other areas within the hotel sector that require assistance, and I mentioned some of those earlier. There's housekeeping, there's food and beverage, there's security, the landscaping, the photo shop, the gift shop, the spa, training and finance, entertainment. That's a critical area as well, because guests always need to be entertained on resort. And of course, security, keeping them safe is a critical aspect as well. So there are lots of areas to consider as potential job opportunities within the industry. And of course, we at Sandals are always available to answer more questions as the need arises. And we wish you well throughout this career showcase for 2020-2021. Thank you very much.